Welcome back to Talking Sports with Chris. I'm Chris Fisk, and today I will be talking about the devastating loss that the Saucon Valley varsity baseball team had against the Palisades baseball team. This was a devastating loss as it dropped them down to seventh place in the colonial league, which possibly eliminated them from that colonial league. So it does bump them out as only 6 teams make it. But the thing is Saucon Valley had a way better game than they usually have. Whether it was against Bangor, they were actually hitting a lot more this game. As they accumulated 10 hits, but their pitching, they just wasn't that good. Well, it was good. It's just they couldn't find their stuff all game. So in my last episode on Monday, I believe, I said that the three main things that Saucon needs to do to get this win is to hit more, hit better, hit for on base, control Palisades best guy as it was at the time, John Coran, and pitch a really well game. Now they did two of those. I mean, John Coran, besides his run, he didn't even have any plate appearances, so they were able. It wasn't really a big blow. I mean, they were able to control him as much as they could, but they hit a lot more. They got 10 hits this game and 6 runs, but just their pitching just didn't come out as expected. Carter Beller was a pitch. He pitched. He went 2 2/3 innings at 5 hits, 2 runs, and 2 earned runs with 3 strikeouts. Then Cole Huber pitched for 4 1/3 innings with 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. And then Chase Luckenbach came in, and I don't think he recorded a single out as he gave up 1 hit, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, and 2 walks. And then Jacob Eshelman came in for 1 inning as he had 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 earned runs, and only 1 walk with a K. And then Frankie DeRusso did pitch, but he also I don't think he also went. He didn't go an inning at all as he gives up 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and a walk. So a very tough day for Saucon Valley's pitching. This Palisades is a great team hitting wise. If we're looking at the opponent's batting average between each pitchers, when we're looking at Carter, the opponent's batting average was a 357. For Cole, it was only a .077. Cole Hubert's an amazing pitcher. I mean, all these players are amazing pitchers. Like when Cole's on the mound, I feel like everybody's all energized. And he brings a lot to the table. And I mean, all these guys are good pitchers. It's just I feel like the problem is I don't think they found their stuff this game. I mean, Chase Luckenbach gave up 100 opponent batting average. Jacob Eshelman didn't give up a single hit, so it was a 0 opponent batting average. But Frankie DeRusso also had a 100 or 1,000 opponent batting average. So that was just a hard stretch. Though, like it was a hard way because I feel like that's how Saucon lost was because of their pitching. I mean, they did spectacular with their hits. I mean, Cole Huber had a hit, Andrew Gilbert had a hit, Zach Mail had a hit, Landon Bukowski had 2 hits, Matt Shafir had a hit, Noah Huber had a hit. Like all these guys had hits, and they were putting up great numbers. They were getting runs in as they got the 6 runs. But and a lot of walks were accumulated as well. A total of 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total walks, and there are 10 hits. That's a total of 18 at bats that accumulate into an on base, whether it was through walks or a hit. So they were doing really well at the plate, but pitching wise, I feel like that hurt them the most. So as we look at the team stats, the batting average, Saucon Valley did have a higher batting average of 294 compared to Palisades 258 batting average. Palisades did have a slightly better on base percentage with a 452 compared to Saucon's 429. Stolen bases, they were tied with two. Uh, Fielding percentage, Saucon Valley had a 964 fielding percentage. They only had one error, and Palisades had a 909 fielding percentage with three errors. So they led them in all those categories right there. But once that earned run average, when you look at that, that hurts the most, as Palisades only had a 4.38 earned run average to a 7 ERA for Saucon Valley, and that just hurts a lot. I mean, like I said before, it was their hitting was great. 10 hits for Saucon Valley compared to Palisades 8. Three doubles compared to Palisades 0. A one triple compared to Palisades 0. A 441 slugging percentage for Saucon compared to Palisades 258 slugging percentage. So hitting wise, Saucon did amazing. It's just the pitching, they couldn't find their stuff. It was a hard day pitching for the pitchers at Saucon, and it's you feel bad. It's a tough loss. I mean, this team is really good. Um, they're a really good team, but after this loss, they dropped down to an 8-9 overall record, um, and an 8-8 conference record in the colonial leagues, which dropped them down to seventh, which could make them possibly miss the playoffs. Which it hurts a lot because they started out spectacular with a four-game winning streak to start off the year, and they were on top, and then but once they had these hard losses like against teams like Lehigh and the Wilson area and Salisbury and Bangor and Palisades, once they have these tough losses, it really ruined their season. I mean, all these kids are amazing. I mean, you look at the roster and they have a bunch of great players. It's just they couldn't capitalize. Um, I mean, you can talk. They got amazing pitching. They started to hit a lot better. I mean, they got a bunch of juniors. Seniors were amazing this year. Everybody was just amazing. It was just a hard loss against Palisades because they're also a really good team. Um, they're really good hitting, and that's what covered against Saucon, and that was the reason why they Saucon lost, because um, Palisades was able to stand their ground hitting the ball, at least with runs batted in. They were able to stand their ground with runs batted in. I mean, Saucon Valley did great hitting. It's just their pitching didn't capitalize, and that was the hard part, as it just felt they just fell off that game. Um, it was that was these are like like I said before, the three key factors was to hit really well, which they did, to control the number one like player statistically for Palisades, which they did, and to hold it was to hold their own pitching wise, which was the one thing that they couldn't do. But they're still an amazing team. Um, it's just a hard loss. I mean, the team they fought the biggest. It was one of the biggest fights of the season, in my opinion, because it had a lot of stakes at hand. Where Palisades was a game behind Saucon on the Colonial League, and it was a high stakes, high reward, high risk, high everything. But Saucon wasn't able to pull away a win here. But this team's still really good. I think they're still high up in the district standings, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and hopefully they can win districts this year. Um, it's hard to tell because you got it's hard to tell because you need to know what kind of night they're gonna have. I mean, they're really good on some nights, and then they just fall off on other nights. If that makes sense, like they just it's hard to tell. I mean, it's just an amazing team. Um, and their rankings in Pennsylvania, they're 353rd, 53rd in all of Pennsylvania, which is a lot of teams. Because it's like everybody, like from Pittsburgh to Hellertown to Bethlehem to Easton, Wilkes-Barre, everywhere. 353rd is Saucon. And for Class AAA, they're 52nd. Um, and they're 115th in ranking in Philadelphia. This was updated May 9th. They're a really good team. They just need to pull out some more wins. It was just their pitching just didn't capitalize enough. I can't find the district standings, but maybe they're still up there. Um, we'll have to see. I also want to say this too. I don't know if it's a record, but this is huge stat. So throughout this whole season, Cole Huber has 108 strikeouts. That is just spectacular. Cole Huber is such an amazing player. That is ranked number one, and I don't even know how, probably everywhere really in Pennsylvania. Yeah, right here, ranked number one in Pennsylvania strikeouts is Cole Huber, 108, which is absolutely mad. Just he's like a madman out there. He all of Pennsylvania. Cole Huber is just he's up there, and that's why I think he's a great, not like an addition. He's a great team player. I feel like he gets the energy going when he pitches, when he bats, when he gets the team rolling, and that's what I think Saucon needs for at least next year. Because right now Cole Huber is a junior, he's entering his senior year next year, and I think they have to win at least one. I think they should win one more district championship with him. I mean, he's such a great player. He brings a lot to the table. All these players bring a lot to the table. Like guys like Carter, Frankie, Noah Huber, Matt Shafir, all these guys bring a lot to the table. They just got to execute it. So this off season, if they just you got to work, you got to keep working. Pitching wise, if they can get that top notch and they keep consistency hitting, this team is just fine. They're great. They have a bunch of young guys coming up. Whether it was even from 8th grade or even guys from the freshman team or sophomores and players who are in their freshman year now, or even juniors, they still got a year left. Though they got a lot of young players. So thank you for listening today. That's basically my breakdown of the 8-6 loss that Saucon Valley had against Palisades. I really appreciate you listening or watching wherever you're seeing this episode. Soon we'll get some more interviews up, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and have a great night.